Hello. Hello, good people. Welcome to another video. I'm over here in my vanity area because I'm like organizing some things, about to get rid of a lot of stuff because I know y'all want me to, but I'm cutting my hair. I'm cutting my hair for my birthday. It's happening. So a lot of the stuff I won't really need anymore, but some stuff I'm going to keep anyway. If you're a girl, you know, like as soon as you throw a product out, somehow you need it. And it can literally sit there for months and you never use it. But the minute you throw it out, you need it. So just trying to clean this area up a little bit. And while I'm doing that, I figured we could chat about the next topic. And yes, the headlights are on. I don't own that many bras. I'm home a lot and I'm flat chested. So it's going to be all right. So, anyway, if this is your first time here, my name is Jazz, and we do these types of videos because on Instagram, where you should follow me if you want more one-on-one interactions, my DMs are always open. We have topics and conversations, and people like for me to go more in depth about certain things. And so those things make it here because who's doing a 10-15 minute video on Instagram? Not me. I don't even think that's allowed. So, anyway, we're here. We're here. Today's topic is about outgrowing friendships. It's rough. The subject of outgrowing friendships is nothing new, nothing unique. I mean, I feel like the bulk of us will go through it, right? And it's hard. It's hard because we literally grow up watching movies where people meet each other in kindergarten, meet each other in middle school, and they are like best of buds. And then they grow up, they go to college together, they get married, you know, they're in each other's weddings, their kids play together, and they live in the same areas, and they go on vacation, and they do all these things. And sometimes that happens, right? But I don't feel like we see enough movies and things that show us the other side, right? A lot of our realities are that we will grow apart. We will go in different directions. What are some of the reasons you might go in different directions? Well, maybe you all have very conflicting life goals. Maybe you're in a place where, you know, one person wants to move abroad. Maybe the other person just wants to stay in the area, stay in the local neighborhood, or go to the same schools, have their kids in the same schools. Sometimes it's as drastic as maturing at different rates, right? Some people are still hanging out late and getting drunk every day like we're in college or something. And yeah, no, you know, while others are like, wait, I need to be in bed by 9:30. I need to be well rested for work. I need to get my kids on a schedule. Again, so many different reasons. Ew, it's nasty. So many different reasons why you would grow apart. And you know what? I think I'm going to probably slow down on this organizing my vanity thing because I feel like some of these things I might need to keep. A lot of these things I might need to keep. Anyway, back to the subject at hand. The main thing to understand about outgrowing friendships is that you all outgrowing each other does not make the other person bad. It doesn't make you bad. It just means you're no longer compatible. It just means you're no longer on the same path, or you're no longer on what's the word, paths that are more aligned, I guess. I know there's a word for it, but it just means things are different now. I'm finding more and more as I see people on Instagram, as I read different things, read books, talk to other folks. This is especially happening in people's 30s, right? Like, and I think that's because the 30s is just a prime time for change for people across the board, right? Whether you're just now taking off in your career, you're just now starting your family, or if you already had children, they're getting to a certain age and it's requiring something different of you, a different mindset. Maybe you're going through a divorce, or maybe your parents are sick. All kinds of things. Like, truth be told, your 30s is more along the lines of being that midway point of your life, right? 50 is really not the midpoint for most of us. The bulk of us will not live to be 100 years old. That's just facts. So that 30 to 35 mark is like really crucial in, like, okay, what is this last half of my life going to be like? What do I want it to be like, right? And that looks like evaluating your current circle, your current space. Are the people in my life supporting where I'm going? Are the people in my life working with me or against me? And when I say against, again, it's not that it's intentional, but hell, like, sometimes things can be so different. That's life, right? And I've recently found myself to be in that space. I've had friends that I've known since elementary school, I've known since middle high school, that right now it has become very clear to me that we're just moving in two different paths. And I don't fault them for it, I don't fault myself for it, but it's what's happening. And one of the quickest ways to recognize that is that when you're spending time with these folks, or when you're talking to them and it seems like the conversation is like a push and pull kind of thing, it's like everything you say feels like it's being put down, it feels like it's being dismissed, it feels like it's being belittled or not taken as serious, or and vice versa. Everything they say, some of the things they say they want to do, you're like, or you're kind of giving it the side eye. Hey, those are signs that it's time to take a step back. Those are signs that maybe you all are outgrowing each other. When the outings are no longer fun, when the outings are no longer of value to you, when the advice is to the point where you're like, what the hell are they talking about? It's time. Outgrowing friendships is a very normal occurrence. Very normal occurrence. And it's a good sign, in my opinion, that both sides are in a place where their minds are expanding and molding even further and shaping even more into who they are supposed to be. Right? Again, that's life. And it's okay. I knew, for me personally, I knew I had outgrown my friendships when every time we went out, I left feeling drained. I left feeling irritated. I left feeling, what the hell was the point of that? I left with more questions than answers. I knew it was time. I knew I was outgrowing my friends when I no longer took their advice serious. I no longer agreed with any of the ways they were choosing to handle life. I no longer felt peace. I no longer felt encouraged and supported. Like, when it comes to these videos and content and everything that I do, I get more. Once I realized I was getting more support from strangers, like, I couldn't even get a like, I couldn't even get feedback, I couldn't get just your baseline support. I knew it was just time. When it got to the point where I didn't think about picking up the phone anymore, when it got to the point where I didn't think about shooting the text anymore, responding in the group chat anymore, it was time. When the things I wanted and saw for myself were being labeled as too much, when I got the sense that when I came around, that it was like it started to feel more contentious. It started to feel like there was an attempt to humble me or make me feel stupid or less than. Those are the things I started to feel. It was time for me to remove myself, because even if that's not their intention, that's how I'm feeling. And you don't need to be in spaces that make you feel that way, especially in a time in your life, Again, we're in our 30s. This is the time. This is the time to do the thing. This is the time to be around people that love you, support you, encourage you. This is the time to be in the right spaces at the right time. This is not the time to cower. This is not the time to stay stuck. This is the time to shoot for the stars. That's what I believe. But I was finding that the people who I once held dear and called close friend and best friend just wasn't operating on that same type of intensity. They had a different idea of their own, they had a different path of their own. And I am sure that there are times where we would go out and they would probably look at me and feel some of those same things I'm feeling as it pertains to what they wanted for themselves, right? So, again, doesn't make anybody good or bad, but it's time. All that to say, don't feel bad. This is your life. And we already waste so much time having to learn and figure out life as it is because we don't know what we don't know. So you waste a lot of time in your teenage years. You know, you're fighting, you're carrying on, you're doing stupid stuff, you're arguing with your parents, all this kind of stuff. But that's because it's immaturity, right? You don't have the experience to say that, hey, this isn't necessarily worth all that, or you may not have the resources yet to do something different. So we already end up having to waste so much time anyway. Let's not do it when we don't have to do it anymore. Being in your 30s should come with enough experience, enough maturity to start making some big girl and big boy moves. Now, what those big girl and big boy moves are, their definition is up to you. But it's enough to say, hey, this isn't working. Let me take a step back. This isn't working. Let me recalculate quick. This is not the time to be dedicating 2 and 3 years to bullshit. Excuse me. But you can't, this is not the time to be dedicating 2 and 3 years to staying stuck in the same place. 2 and 3 years of, not having money. 2 to 3 years of fighting with your baby daddy, fighting with your baby mama. This, mm-mm. This is the time to hone in on who you are, the things you deserve, the people you need, the space you need. This is the time. And if you have children, tack them onto it. This is the time to secure their future all in alignment with where you're trying to go. This is the time. So when you're outgrowing something or someone, you can't feel bad about that. Like crabs, they outgrow their shells. They can't stay in that shell. They might want to. Maybe it was their favorite color. Maybe it was cozy. I don't know. I don't know anything about marine life. So outside of my limited SpongeBob knowledge. But the point is, you gotta grow. You cannot stay in those spaces. And you should not be ashamed of that. Do not be ashamed to grow, to step out, to walk away from. And you don't have to do it in a nasty way. When you realize you outgrowing some people, you ain't gotta call them up and be like, you know what? I don't need your beep, 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 beep. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Bow out gracefully. Just bow out gracefully. You don't have to make an announcement. You don't have to raise the white flag. Bow out gracefully. And of course you're going to question yourself like, was I doing too much or was I? No, you wasn't doing too much. If it made you feel uncomfortable, if it made you feel unwanted, if it made you feel stuck, no, you're not doing too much. So I hope that was helpful. I know we're in a season where, well, lots of us are in a season where things are just changing rapidly. Like I said, you might have kids, they're getting older. You might be transitioning out of long-term relationships. You might be experiencing changing family dynamics and all that kind of stuff. So it's hard to step into what's new and what's no longer, what's not familiar. It's hard. But trust in yourself. Believe in yourself. Nobody on this planet knows you better than you. You have been walking with you every step of the way. You have been in every space that you have been in. Not your mama, not your daddy, not your siblings, not anybody. Now, they may have a certain perspective of you, but they have not been in every room you've been in. They have not shared in every one of your experiences. You were there. So take care of you. In this season of outgrowing friendships or outgrowing anything else, never apologize for taking care of you. Okay? So feel free to leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, do all the things. And I will see you in the next video.